All right. Welcome, one and all, to the Off the Rails Sports Podcast. I am John, and if you could hit that like and subscribe button, it means a lot to us. I am here with the Road Warrior, Brian. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm covering the ground, dude. I got
Some
the
days that's all you
got the
can do.
black top under my tires, and I'm just rolling along.
Oh, it sounds like a Bob Seger song.
Oh
You're just hitting the open highway.
man, isn't
Randy
that guy
Newman, I
dead?
love LA. Oh, don't be dissing Bob. Don't be dissing Bob. Outside of Aerosmith, Van Halen, who is your favorite artist?
Cheap Trick.
Okay,
Uh,
that's a solid.
uh,
That's a solid.
another favorite is Collective Soul.
Very underrated.
Uh,
Very underrated.
yeah, those are some of the ones that
Okay.
I can
Is
never
there
get sick of.
anybody? Is there anybody on new on the music scene, like for you, last 30 years, who
The last 30 years.
who you may like a Green Day or somebody
No,
like that?
no, I'm green. Well, Collective Soul's in that era, aren't they? They're
I
like a
guess.
big
Yeah.
'90s band.
Yeah. Yeah.
A
You're
big,
right.
uh, the bands. It seems like the bands from this century, they're not. They don't really last. They're, and I think it's the realm of the streaming,
Mm-hmm.
and you know,
Yeah.
there's the long play record that we grew up waiting for, every year
Yeah.
doesn't happen anymore. They just put
Right.
out a single on your streaming services, and
Yeah.
there you go.
And the deterioration of the radio model, right? I mean,
Correct.
that's part of it, right? Everybody's streaming, everybody's, YouTubing, whatever it is, except they're not YouTubing us. You need to start liking and subscribing, everybody. All right.
Yeah.
To me, this is the most, this is what, today is what it makes baseball is the trade deadline, that there's actually, out of all the four major leagues, it's the only one where there's actually some movement on the trade deadline. It's not, oh, we traded for a backup tight end. Oh, great. That's great, man. It's really going to change the journey for you this year. We had a lot of trades. Now, for everybody out there, we are recording this the morning of Thursday at about 8 o'clock in the morning West Coast time. So we have a couple hours left. So other trades can go down. So don't vilify me in the comments because I didn't talk about XYZ. Let's just talk to Brian. What do you so far? Is there any trade that really stood out to you?
Nothing. Nothing of substance. That's like I said. We're going to see a bunch of pieces move, but no major players. I don't think. I was pretty surprised to read that we knew the Padres had interest in Jaron Duran, and the Red Sox made or received from the Padres a pretty substantial offer, I would think, that they turned down.
Mm-hmm.
Their reason for turning it down, though, is one actually, I believe, of smart business. The latest one I saw was Dylan Cease and a couple of prospects. Prospects, as we've discussed, are really just prospects. They're rarely pan out to be great.
Right.
A lot of times they don't even pan out to be anything more than just a guy for a few years, and then they're out of the league.
True.
Dylan Cease is in the final year of a deal, so that would be a 2-year rental for Jaron Duran, who has a couple more years, I think, through 2028 of team control.
I believe so.
So, I mean, is Dylan Cease going to take the Red Sox from third place in the East to a top line contender? Probably not. So
He
I
could have
think
been
that's,
formidable.
well, maybe,
Right.
maybe.
Right. I mean,
So, I mean, and maybe they're just holding off for the Padres to up that offer before 12 o'clock today.
sure. That's absolutely. I I think most of the moves. It seems like you're getting an arm, you're getting a back end of the bullpen, you're getting a backup catcher. I do think, and I have been a vocal critic of Mariners GM Jerry Dipoto. And last year, when they were 12 games over 500, and there's two parts to this equation, and my criticism does need to be muted a little. I was very critical of him because I didn't think I thought they had a World Series team last year, but he sat on his hands at the trade deadline. Getting Randy Arozarena wasn't enough, but there is the component of, does management want to take on more salary, right? This year, I thought he hit a home run. He got Josh Naylor, he got Suarez, and he did not give up any of his top 10 prospects from his minor league system, which is rated in the top 2 or 3 in baseball, which I thought was I thought the Mariners killed it at the trade deadline so far as we speak right now.
Yeah, Josh Naylor is a real good pickup, especially on a team that struggles offensively. They're
Absolutely.
they're contenders for the West, but primarily because of their pitching at home, where it works to their benefit. So to get a guy who's a proven run producer like that is going to help. And maybe it'll get Julio Rodriguez to actually pick up his game a little bit.
Yeah,
That
the
that's supposed,
always an MVP, right?
yeah,
God.
the always potential MVP because of one good season,
Right.
and
Right.
has never lived up to that season again. But I mean, maybe it's still there, and he just needs a little support in the lineup. So
Yeah. Yeah. I
that
will say this going forward, the AL West looks incredibly exciting. Texas is starting to peak. Houston has a lot of injuries, and the Mariners have reloaded. I think that's going to be the most exciting division to see here in the last 2 months.
and geez, I'm blanking on the guy's name, but the Angels picked up another reliever.
Yeah, yes, they did. Yes, they did. And the other trade that kind of intrigued me is the Guardians traded quite a few players, but they traded Shane Bieber, former Cy Young winner, to the Blue Jays. And I got to tell you right now, the name looks really impressive on the outside. If Cleveland trades pitching, move away because there's something wrong. If they don't, I'm telling you, Cleveland is one of those few teams, and I'd say the Marlins are one of them, that are very good with pitching. If they trade away a pitcher, beware. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, he's currently rehabbing. He hasn't even pitched this year
Yep.
because he's been rehabbing. I read up on him the other day. He's made about 6 starts in the minors rehabbing, and he's been pitching well. So I think he's proving himself that he's back to healthy, not 100% yet. But let's face it, the Blue Jays are at the top of their division primarily because of their pitching. So to add
Right.
Bieber into that mix, if he comes in there and he's, the thing I hate the most, a starter that gives you 5,
Yeah.
that could be that could be a solid add for that team.
Yeah. Give me 5. Give me 5, Brian. Give me 5.
Well, on a team that's already, their strength is their pitching, you add another guy that can give you a solid 5, then, you're just one more game deeper every week.
Right. That's it. That's it. Give me 5. Give me 5, baby. All right. Well, the Red Sox set it up. They got the greatest pitcher ever. We got Steven Matz. Wait, is this 2017 or is it 2025? I don't know. What do you think
Uh,
about Steven Matz helping the rotation?
he's a reliever this year. He's only
Yeah.
made 2 starts all season. That was only because the Cardinals were desperate for a little bit. So
Aren't we?
they picked, yeah, they picked him up. I mean, if this guy's been a middle relief guy all year, throwing you 1 or 2 innings, and they expect him to come in and be a starter, probably not a smart move. And if they picked him up just to add to the bullpen, Who gives a crap?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
So it's a trade
right,
it's one of those nothing trades, like I said.
right.
They're just moving guys to move guys and to so you know what? There might be 6 people that buy a Steven Matz jersey from the team store, so they're trying to get their money back.
Well, he's got family. He's got a big family and grandkids. So yeah, we're going to get some additional revenue for the players fund. I'm going to give you a couple other little trades and then we're going to move on. Phillies under Dave Dombrowski, who I think is just the best. Got closer Johan Duran from the Twins, which I thought that's the kind of move that really fortifies a team. Your thoughts?
Yep, a solid closer when you add one of those. That's what the contenders do
Yeah,
to just lock things up. Even a lot of them too, you'll see they add that closer, even if they've got a decent closer, and
sure.
you and then of course all the talking heads will talk about how there's going to be friction in the clubhouse and blah blah blah. Now you know what? You got a solid guy for your eighth and your ninth inning now. That's what it is. Or you've got a closer you can go to every single day instead of having to tell a guy, man, he just pitched 2 games in a row. We can't use him today.
Yeah, I was listening to another podcast. Please, God forbid, I listen to another sports podcast. Is they were talking about this was David Sampson, and he was talking about as a GM what you do before you make this trade, and exactly this trade is you go to Duran and his management and you say, if we use you in the eighth inning for the rest of the year, are you cool with it? And if you're not, we're not going to make the trade. And they get a sign off, which I think is really, really prudent diligence by a team doing their research on a player.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Also,
That's the
the other
that's
trade.
the thing
Go
we
ahead.
criticized Craig
Yeah,
Breslow and the Red Sox for not doing with the guy they
yes.
had already.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to get to that in a minute. Uh, the Reds finally, and I don't understand this trade. I think the Reds still could get a wild card. I'm looking at the standings, but they got third baseman Hayes from the Pirates. And what are the Pirates doing? I mean, really, how do they sell their team, their future to their franchise? I mean,
I think
God dang.
I think they're on like a seven out of 8, dude. They're on a hot streak.
Yeah, they are. So let's trade the third baseman. Let's go. Yeah. All right, Jay. You know they're going to try and portray it like the Jack Flaherty trade from Detroit last year, where they traded him and the fans were like, "Oh, this is the end of the world," and they went on that stellar 50-game run and got to the playoffs. All right, Brian sent me a text the other day, and he was talking about Devers since he has landed in San Francisco. They said the Giants have the worst record in baseball, and they talked about the text or the subject was about how terrible he has the few times they've tried at first base. Give me your overall thoughts on it, and then I'm going to jump in.
My thoughts are, uh, kudos to Buster Posey for taking a big swing, and he didn't even
Amen.
wait till the end of the trade deadline, right?
Right.
He wasn't like, okay, we're up against it. We got to try to make a move. This was a month out. And he
Right.
was like, nobody's looking at this. We got the chance to get this guy. Look at his track record,
Right.
right? Let's make this move. And he goes for it. And for whatever reason, it just hasn't worked out at all. And some guys fit really well on some teams, and they get traded, and it's just a shit show. We've seen it countless times. And then the guy moves on, goes to a different team, and he kind of comes back to what he was.
Sure.
For whatever reason, Devers in San Francisco just is not working. And the 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 clips I saw of him playing first base, I mean, the guy was a professional major league third baseman
Yes.
for many years. He knows how to use his glove. He can throw the baseball. Was he Brooks Robinson? Hell no. But he was a major league third baseman. That takes a lot of skill.
Absolutely.
Him over there at first base, I mean, granted, it's been 6 months since he put on a glove last or whatever it's been, but he looked like he had no clue. He looked like a struggling high school player.
Right.
And it was just like, what is going on? Is it all in his head? Is it just everything that he terrible situation? And I think the Giants, if anything, they got to try to move him and say, dude, this ain't working out. We got to you got to get a fresh start somewhere else. Maybe some other team will take him and say, look, dude, we're going to make you a third baseman again, or we're going to just DH you, and he can go on and have a decent rest of his career. But it ain't going to work with the Giants for whatever reason, and they just got to take a loss on that and say, you know what, we screwed this one up, and correct the problem by getting rid of the problem. That's what I think about the Devers trade
So,
after the 6 or whatever weeks it's been.
yeah, right. 6, 7 weeks, whatever it's been. I think you hit on a couple key points there. First of all, I think he's a little more of an emotional player, introverted type of player than typically we get from the rah, we're going to be the team leader. And I think he was crushed by being moved on from Boston. And the clips I've seen of him at first base, he's terrible. He's like a little leaguer out there, right? But this honestly feeds into the narrative he was talking in Boston of, I don't want to go to first base in the middle of the season. And they made him out to be like he was Benedict Arnold. Why don't you just go out there and take one for the team? Well, look, if I'm hurting the team, if I'm no good at that position, why am I going to go there? And let's be honest, the Boston fans are more ravenous and critical than the Frisco fans. They're having their glass of Pinot Grigio going, oh man, third error of this game? Oh man, okay, bring over the whole box of wine. Don't worry about it. We'll get through it, okay? We're leaving in the 5th inning anyway when the starter gets pulled. Right on, Brian. Yeah. And I do think his past 8, 9 years have proven what an exceptional major league hitter is. I do think they have to take the offseason and reset whatever he needs because you don't find this kind of talent. I agree with you. He's fried for the rest of this season. I agree with you 100%. If they put him on the IL and said, hey, he's got an injury, to me, that's the move. And the problem is you don't get players like this very often. You don't find them in free agency. You don't find them in trades. They got lucky, and I commend Buster Posey for taking the big swing. I commend for San Francisco ownership for taking on the contract. I think still this is going to be a positive win for the Giants in the long run because no free agents ever signed there. This is the only way they're going to get a big bat, and they've got to find a way to make it work there. You're right. I agree with you 100%, my friend, that he is fried for this year. I mean, they might as well bring up the top AAA prospect. And maybe at some point we find a way to move Chapman over to first base and him back to third. I don't know what it is inside his head, but the people inside baseball know what's going on. And I will tell you this, the constant character assassination that comes out of the Red Sox organization is such bullshit. This guy was a loyal guy for 8 years, and we know why he didn't want to go to first base in the middle of the season. He's terrible. He knew it too. He's like, hey, man, don't. Look, at the end of the day, I don't need, if we're on the boat on Jaws, I want us to be Roy Scheider. Hey, man, let's pull back. Let's get a bigger boat. Let's bring in the Coast Guard. We don't need this Quint bullshit of, hey, me against the Shark. I'm going to do well. We saw how that ended up. Let's give the Shark another dose of Tums because he's going to have a really upset stomach from all that beer and whiskey that Quint was drinking. I'm just saying. Yeah, that's what we're talking.
All right.
All right. Anything else on your mind, my friend, about the world of baseball?
Well, speaking of the Giants, I did see this morning that, and the way they headline it, God, you got to love the media.
Oh, I love it. Bring it on. Bring it on.
Out of respect the Giants are willing to move Verlander to another team if
That
he's
is so
open to
kind
it.
of them.
If
Yes.
he's open
What?
to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. He went to the most pitcher-friendly park in Major League, and he has what, one win?
One.
Man, one win. I mean, my
But
God, how
out of
kind.
respect to him, if there's another team that wants him because they're making that
Yes.
postseason run and they need him,
Yes. Yes.
we'll move him.
And want to take on the other 7 million in salary, please. It's our gift to you. Merry Christmas. We're going to put a bow around him and Kate
Oh
Upton.
man.
God bless. What a couple. That's very kind.
Well, they
All
just
right.
said,
That's
this
what?
guy's up. Anybody wants him, take him. He's yours. We don't want him anymore. It didn't work. He sucks.
It's kind of like when you're growing up and you're picking teams for kickball, and then there's the last guy, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll let you have him if you want. No, you
Oh,
can have him,
you can have the
right?
extra guy. You can have if it, we'll sign an exception for your 28-man roster if you take this one off of ours.
Yes, exactly. We'll ride with 24. Just we want him to ride off into the sunset, right? All right, that's it, everybody, for today for the Off the Rails Sports Podcast. Hit that like and subscribe and leave some comments, and we'll see you soon on Off the Rails.